The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
Another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. Once more, we go into the breach, dear friends, as we go to the end of the options expiration week. We're off 5 points on the S&P cash, off 5 points off the low of the day, doing about 2.12 and 1.2, what am I going to call it? 2.17 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. So volume's okay. Is it big? No. Is it bad? No. Of course, we had Walmart drop the Baby Ruth in the Punch Bowl. We'll talk a little bit about that, but not much because everybody's doing it. Not a lot to talk about. But of course, if you've been hiding in a cave, you don't know that I'm doing a webinar tonight. So you should come out of the cave and sign up for my webinar. We're going to be talking about trading last-minute options during monthly options expiration. I basically put on 3 positions this morning. Normally, I like to wait till Thursday, but I thought that we probably got a pretty good taste of, and probably the best opportunity to go ahead and step into at least a few of these positions. 2 of the 3 are off to the races, I think, already. We'll be looking for that third going into the close. Anyway, put a bunch of charts in my daily newsletter this morning about that. That's what we're going to be talking about in the webinar tonight, is kind of giving you the theory in my white paper. And now we're going to get to the practice of that in the webinar tonight. So you still have plenty of time to go to the front page of TFNN, look under breaking news and check that out. You can sign up for 30 days free for my newsletter and check out trading last-minute options before expiration. And we'll talk a little bit more about that before the end of the show. Anyway, what else do we have going on today? Well, everybody waiting for earnings. Of course, the big one probably after the bell tonight is going to be Netflix. So we'll be looking at that here in a few minutes. In the meantime, it's time to get this party started.
Well, it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in it's not 1889. Where did I get that date? I think it's 1954, isn't it? Hang on a second. This will bother me the rest of the show if I don't get it correct. I don't know why I didn't. 1947. That was even sooner than I thought. What can you say about that? Maybe I'll get, I'm going to have to now correct it here. I think we broke the sound barrier long before 18. Anyway, now I've got it correct. I can sleep tonight. Sound that I didn't put out disinformation on when Chuck Yeager, on this day in 1947, became the first person to fly faster than the speed of sound. And I don't know if that's actually correct. I think there's a lot of pilots that went down in the Second World War, probably vastly broke the speed of sound. Their planes were just breaking up as they did it. So maybe the first person that did it and lived to tell about it. Yeager was born in Myra, West Virginia in 1923, was a combat fighter pilot during World War II, and flew 64 missions over Europe. He shot down 13 German planes and himself was shot down over France, but escaped capture with the assistance of the French underground, Mr. LeBeau from Hogan's Heroes. I heard he was very instrumental in that. After the war, he was among several volunteers chosen to test fly the experimental X-1 plane built by the Bell Aircraft Company to explore the possibility of supersonic flight. And I met him 2, maybe 3 times. Always a big hit on the Air Force Base that I was growing up on when I was young. And somewhere I think I got a picture of him in the mid 60s, maybe 8 years old. I think I got a picture with him somewhere when he was visiting the Air Force Base for some deal. So that's mid 60s. I think he was in the Air Force until like the 80s or something. I think he was like 70 years old before they finally kicked him out. But very interesting gentleman. And a lot of people didn't know that he had like telescopic sight. He had 2010 vision. He could see the Germans about twice as quick as they saw him. And that's all it took. He always saw them first, and that's all that mattered. They pretty much lived his entire life with 2010 vision, which is kind of interesting. He had to have reading glasses later on. But sometimes it's just a little edge like that makes all the difference in the world, and that's what he said. But I wish I had 2010 vision all the time. Didn't have it. A lot of people. Airport in Charleston, Virginia, named after him. Well, of course, one of the guys with the right stuff and not spam in a can. Anyway, as we said, we'd get right into some of the stuff going on. Walmart, what is that? Not WM, is it? I can't even remember. I haven't looked at Walmart in 100 years. All I've seen is the WMT, yeah. WMT. You know, the thing's been such a dog. It's like GE. When's the last time you looked at that? WMT. Anyway, drop the Baby Ruth in the punch bowl, all you need to know. Basically, they said they're not going to be making any more money for about 2 or 3 years as they spend a lot of money to get their stores from becoming the decrepit style Kmarts that they are becoming. I've been to quite a few of them that are probably just a stone's throw away from the nasty suspended ceiling with the tinted tiles and you go into some of them and they've actually got like floor covering. You go into some, all it is that polished concrete. Because I really don't bother. Hurts my feet though after a while. But of course you have that very high roofs, nothing in them. When it rains, they leak. But they're going to try to clean all that mess up. Unfortunately, it's going to take a while. They did say during their earnings call today that 3/4 of the money that they won't be making is going to be going to their employees in the form of pay rate hikes. And it looks to me like a PC principal got on top of them and started whooping on them, and they wanted to placate a lot of the politically correct people that think that $100 an hour is what everybody should be making. And just by decreeing it, it will make things so. And of course, the reality of the markets are that they don't really care what you think. All they care about is whether people will buy a product or come to a store for a product at a certain rate. And, you know, I don't even know that they had to raise the rate that they're paying people. I don't know if they can get people to show up if they didn't pay more than they were actually the minimum wage. So I don't know if that's more of a whole kind of PR stunt than anything else. It may not even be true. It may just be a big lie to cover a bunch of wad of cash that somehow disappeared. But of course, the only thing that matters is the gigantic volume that has blown out the previous low of even August 24th that had 22 million shares in it. And what do we do? 62 million shares. But there's nothing like someone telling you that you're going to be dead money for the next 2 or 3 years to get you on the selling bandwagon. And boy, are they playing loudly on that one. SanDisk, of course, nothing like coming out and saying you're selling yourself to pop the market. They did this after the bell last night. We've talked about this at a great deal, and that is that a lot of these companies that think that they have some kind of future probably don't. We're seeing a lot of these companies like EMC, SanDisk, all these guys are doing anything they can to find a spot in a markets and sectors that look to be extremely challenged, if not totally out of business in several years. EMC, of course, probably going to have a really tough time If Intel and Micron's planned to put all the memory in the chip itself, and I mean not just a little bit of it, but I mean tons and tons of it, is there going to be a true market for companies going after it? Now, of course, SanDisk, a big maker of NAND memory, and their deal is that they're going to be talking with other companies. I just don't see why Micron would buy SanDisk. All this seems incredibly, everything since EMC seems incredibly labored and desperate, and I think we probably have a good chance that the wheels just fall off the wagon next week. I think they're going to hold them together for expiration, but we will continue and see. And we're off 6 points on the S&P cash. No, volume has kind of gone tepid here in the last couple of, last 30 minutes. But not bad, not good, just down. But I was thinking that we kind of had something like that before. Just think that there are at least several sectors that I looked at in my newsletter this morning that look like they could run fairly decently, and we'll be continuing watching them. The other thing that makes me feel good about those positions, we've got Jim Cramer was raining all over them this morning, so I had to buy them.
Bring me the head of the false prophet, Jim Cramer.
Chrome. Anyway, so we've got SanDisk. I don't know how much this is real. It looks to me like there were a lot of these stocks that were short, that had a lot of shorts in it. And maybe there was some discussion in the background of how can we run these people out of these short positions fairly quickly. EMC was a dud. Others are out here. They're talking about, well, look at Micron real quick. But to me, it's going to be very difficult to go after a company that can put all the memory you ever want in the processor. And SanDisk, probably a third wheel out here for a lot of companies. Micron up a little bit, I think, just on the idea that if anybody's got to talk to them, then they probably have the definitive catbird seat, as it were, in technology. You know, a nice bounce off these lows. One thing I dislike about Micron, would have loved to seen it test that August 24th low. This is one of the stocks that didn't do it. It did get in, but with much lighter volume, 54 million to 30 million shares on September 28th. This thing's been kind of rallying up here. You actually had kind of a sign of strength on the 5th of October, too, with 63 million shares. Just kind of lackadaisical back up here. I would not be surprised to see that they push this thing up to $20, but I don't think that there's a great deal more there. Again, Micron, Intel look like they have a good plan. We might see something like SanDisk and HP and some of these other companies out here get together to become a competitor to it. Micron and Intel look formidable. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back. Very tepid trading out here. 1996.80. So we're off a little less than 7 points on the S&P cash. Volume is light, 2.3 billion shares. Again, I think we kind of just meander around up here, maybe close 2010, something like that on the S&P cash on Friday. And then we start seeing the real action start next week. I am short-term bullish, medium and long-term bearish on the markets as a whole. But I think we just have a little time to waste. In fact, our investment newsletter, we're already short, and I'm just waiting in the shorter term out here to pick up a few positions, probably early next week. We'll have to see how it develops, but I think maybe we may get back up about 2,000 before the close today. Kind of saying that if you can throw everything in the kitchen sink like Walmart at the market and you're only down 7 points, there's not a lot there. But we'll see how this market does settle out. One of the stocks we want to look at that looks to me like it could have a couple bucks up in it is Apple. I imagine we're probably going to see the movement in that starting tomorrow. And then maybe that'll be all it needs to move the markets up. That 10 or 15 points is $2 or $3 in Apple. And all they have to do is start to get into buy-in on this thing. And they can keep the market up for a couple of days, at least the indexes. But what you have is a very, very tight trading range in Apple for expiration. And normally the first movement out of that, of course, is going to be to the wrong side, or at least a head fake, let me put it that way. So I could see Apple pretty much doing what it did back at the highs. That is, have a real quick day or two where it runs a little higher, and then that's it. In fact, that's what I would like. So I got a clear signal. If it goes lower, maybe I don't have the same signal. If it goes higher, no volume, and just kind of runs up maybe to 115 or something and then rolls over, I think we've got a much bigger picture out here. But seeing a lot of the suppliers look like they could start to bounce a little. But we'll keep an eye on it. Retailers on the heels of Walmart that seem to be down a bit. Not a lot of volume, but Best Buy is down, at least on a dollar basis, fairly big today. 4.3 million shares so far today, and that's going back into these candles where this thing it did gap up, and that was on the 25th of August and on the 26th of August. You had a nice sign of strength. I would have liked to have seen a little better candle than those two, but my guess is that we are coming back into those levels. Might see them in a day or two. Dollar General, when you're at the lows, there's nothing like a big low, but at least on Dollar General, you're testing or trying to test this low from October 8th with a 10 million shares, with about 4.1 million shares as it goes back in just a few days ago. Not a huge signal, but at least kind of a tiny signal. We have some other ones out here, like the Finish Line, doing the same kind of thing. September 30th, $18.64 with 2 million shares. We're kind of back into that with 527,000 shares. And again, that's why I'm thinking maybe we get just a little bounce out of these. Of course, on the high side, you've got Guess, which is Guess Jeans, I believe. But this thing's been bucking against a little bit of $23 and change area for a while. First time for 5.1 million shares. Second time on September 17th, $23.30. And of course, yesterday you got up there with 1.4 million shares. This thing's back into the down. Any of these places that really work on selling it in retail and malls seem to be just fairly weak. Let's see if there's any other. The Gap, of course, that came out with a few days ago with some bad news. Volume did pick up. It's been kind of going sideways out here. In fact, no volume on it either today. So you might have a little bounce coming in some of these. JCPenney's. I was in Macy's yesterday, and I have to tell you, I was wholly disappointed in the experience. Let me put it that way. Ordered something online, decided to go pick it up because it was much cheaper than shipping it, and ended up waiting about 20 minutes to find somebody anywhere in the store that could help me. But it's not JCPenney, of course. But all these mall stores seem like they're starting to get like Home Depot, which is you can't find hide nor hair of anybody to help you in these retail outlets. Not doing much on this one on the heels of it. Wanted to see if some other ones breaking down a little bit more as Nordstrom's out here. But again, no volume in this one either. Broke down, gap down on the 7th. It's in that candle. Lighter volume today, 1.3 million shares so far, compared to 2.7 million shares back on the 7th. So not seeing a lot of strength in these retailers wanting to break down other than Walmart today. We'll be back.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're going to look at a few more, and then we're going to look at earnings after this. Coles, this one's down, testing its previous low of October 2nd at 4.2 million shares. Into that candle today with 1.8 million shares, so fairly light. Ross Store, another one out here. Actually, pretty big candle for not a lot of volume today. 2 million shares. You still haven't tested the low of 46.60, which is the August 24th low. You got into it with very light volume, though, on the September 29th. So maybe that's enough to do it. Almost there. And TJ Maxx, the last in our roundup of retailers out here. Now, this one made a pretty clear signal, and that is September 17th, 4.7 million shares at 73.49. Went above it and closed below it the next day of October 12th with only 2.4 million shares. So 50% volume right back into the trading range. The only thing is you don't even have a lot of volume on that one so far today. 1.88 million shares. And what do we have for the next day out here? Get the earnings time. See if we have anything else crossing the wires before we get into the rest of what's going on. Tomorrow morning, what do we have? The Winnebago, United Healthcare. Yeah, we'll look at some of these. Wynn Resorts after the bell tomorrow night. Okay, Mattel. Got a few things to talk about here yet today. Anyway, TJ Maxx down, not a lot of volume. Could it go lower? Yes. A lot of energy. Not a lot out here today. And let's go check on the S&P cash. Broke the lows of days. We're down at minus 10 points on the S&P cash now, 2.37. Volume really didn't accelerate that much, so we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see if anything else happens out here. Okay, let's get into those earnings stocks. Of course, the first one's going to be Netflix after the bell tonight. Just not a lot to hang your hat on out here. I think a lot of it has to do with what they say about how they are expanding into foreign markets. They had two big things in the last quarter. One is the expansions into Japan, and we don't really know how that's going yet. The other big thing, of course, was the big move up on them raising the price of their subscription service by $1. Doesn't sound like a lot, but certainly put a lot of energy in this stock. It's kind of come back into that candle the last 4 days out here today. But I don't know if you could say a great deal about that. Let's see what else is out. So in the morning, we've got Goldman Sachs, so we'll take a quick look at it. Like I said, not a lot going on in these stocks. In fact, a lot of these are winding up to tell you that there's probably going to be a fairly big move in Goldman Sachs in the morning. And I base this on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dojis out here in a row. And normally these are right ahead of earnings, something like this connotes that you are going to have some kind of big news out here. Either there's a big seller just on the top of this, or there is a big buyer right underneath it. And to tell you the truth, I can't tell which one it is. But when you go back and look at them, I think we're looking at about $10 up or $10 down on Goldman. Knowing Goldman, it will probably be $10 up. They can make anything sound good. It's like Smuckers. There's a reason why they're 50 miles out of town. With a name like that, you just have to be far away from town. Same as Goldman Sachs. United Healthcare also in the morning, UNH. Now this one actually up on volume, touching these previous highs. You have to watch for the breakout on this one. You got into the August 18th high at 126.21 with 4.1 million shares. Got into it with more volume, but didn't break it on September 17th with 5.3 million shares. Yesterday, you had 6.6 million share, but didn't quite touch those highs. A little bit of pullback today on light volume. But if there's one teed up to go have some pre-morning movements out here, well, that sounds disgusting, doesn't it? It certainly looks like UNH. So we want to be taking a look at that. We also have some other ones out here. I wanted to see. Mattel's after the bell tonight, too. You can email me at path@tfnn.com if you'd like me to talk about some specific stuff. In fact, we have one here. Mike, I'm short oil via the DWTI from 77. Is it time to sell, or do you think oil is further to fall? DWII. I wonder if that's the right symbol. DWTI, maybe? Yeah, there we go. This is exchange traded notes with I'm not a fan of, but it certainly looks with the dollar pulling back, you should be seeing something more out here, and it just doesn't look like you got a lot of juice out here. We go back and look at the dollar index today. So let me get back over to that screen. I've got too many screens in front of me, I think. Dollar index, we're off 78 cents, 93.98. Question is whether you should get out. What I would suspect is that the answer will be when we test 93.90 on the dollar index. I suspect that will probably be either Thursday or Friday. So you've got about 2 days that I think would be good. If you got through Wednesday and it didn't hurt, I think you probably are good till Friday on crude. Let's see who actually did that. Dave T. Hunter. Don't know who he is or where he's from. Oh, it's Mike. But anyway, I don't know where Mike is from. Another disembodied listener. Anyway, yeah, I can't really see that there's a lot of juice in crude to be looked at anytime soon. Today's volume's up on nothing. My guess is that you at least have a test of the $77 yet again. You could get that. I think you're okay. I think I would hold in till you see 93.30 on the dollar index test. I think that's your best plan on oil. At that point, you can say that you'd probably be thinking long or short. And what else do we have going on here? Anything in the den? Any requests? We'll have to take a look. See anything else out here? Maybe I should update everything just to make sure. Yep. Thought nothing was moving on the indexes, but it's just nothing's moving. Down 9 points on the S&P cash, 2.41 billion shares. So we'll start getting into some of the stuff that I've been looking at. And that was from yesterday. We'll take a quick jog through some of these and see what's out there. I spent most of my time out here looking at stocks. Another one that caught my eye was automatic data processing. We've been talking about this one. Ford Dojis up here at the top has not been able to break the August 19th high with volume yet. Certainly has been able to hold up here. $85.21, 3.3 million shares back on that August 19th high. And Ford Dojis across. Like I said, I suspect we're building a lot of energy either to go up or down. I guess you could pick your flavor next week, but I have a feeling it will be a little bit up in the next couple of days. Not a whole lot. Maybe a couple of sectors are going to run, and we'll see those. But probably the rest of it looks like maybe Tuesday we see this crest start to actually crack. But a lot of stocks just holding up here. I wonder when the earnings date is on ADP. I'll take a quick look first. October 28th. That may hold up a little longer than we would like. I'll take a quick look at it. Ancar Pharmaceuticals, ANAC. Let's go a little bit farther back out here. This one's actually made a fairly good pattern. And if you were absent of a market that looked like it was weak, I might be tempted to buy something like this. Certainly looks fairly juicy out here with light volume. It gapped up on, what is that, August? Yeah, August 13th, or is that June? No, it'd be August 13th. July 13th, excuse me. Popped up on July 13th, 7 million shares. Came back into it with 1 million shares, bounced, came back into it with 1 million shares on September 28th and bounced. It's now back down today, 560,000 shares. This is where this gap fill could probably come back to 100, and you'd want to look at it. I don't know a lot about this particular biopharma stock, but it is interesting nonetheless. I don't know much about Aptar Group either. Let's find out about this one. Develops, manufactures, and sells consumer products, dispensing systems worldwide. Home, beauty, pharma, I guess soap dispensers and that kind of stuff. Pumps for nasal allergy treatments, metered dosed inhalers. Okay. Anyway, this one was kind of interesting. Not a huge volume stock, but did test with lighter volume and pull back into the trading range. That was the August 17th high that was being tested yesterday, $70.34, 380,000 shares. Went above it, closed back below it, and did so on 258,000 shares. So what, 130,000 shares light. But today, no volume, 66,000 shares. That's why I think maybe we've just got a little bit more push to the upside, even though we're seeing some kind of weakness going into the close here today. We're off now 11 points in the S&P cash. Slow motion train wreck, it looks like. C.H. Robinson, another one of these stocks that looks like maybe it is topped out. 3.4 million shares August 5th, $71.50. Got into this actually with about half the volume, 1.9 million shares on October 9th. It's kind of been dancing around. It's decidedly back in, but again, no volume coming back in here, and pretty much no volume in the market either. CNO Financial, another one that looks like it's peaked. CNO is the symbol on this one if you're not familiar. June 22nd, $19.49, 5.3 million shares. Got into it with 780,000 shares yesterday. I closed back below. That's all she wrote. Now solidly back in. But again, yesterday, not a lot of volume, not even a lot of volume today, which makes me think maybe you get one more spurt up there and then the thing rolls over. Salesforce.com. Now, this is one that you have to really start thinking about, mostly because of the incredibly light volume test ahead of April 29th. $78.46 on that April 29th high, 28 million shares, just a 5.5 million shares yesterday, right back down today. Again, volume did not pick up. So maybe you got a little bit more work to do before these roll over, but they certainly do not look good. Comfort Systems, FIX, another one that's tested in previous August 10th high, $30.32. Went through it yesterday with 500,000 shares compared to the 810,000 shares of August 10th back in. But again, you want to see some volume in these stocks, and you're just not getting it. Just 200,000 shares so far today. FNV, Franco-Nevada, nice little pop-up today. Volume pretty much in line with what you had yesterday. There's been a pretty big gap that goes back to the 26th of May in this. We're kind of coming up to that gap now. Gap came down with 600,000 shares. Certainly have, 1.2 million shares already. So you got some juice in this particular one. We talked about Guest already. Google, this one's kind of acting a little funky out here. What you really would not want to see, I think, at this point now is a Google at all closing back below a 9-day moving average or a 3x3 displaced moving average. This one looks awful long in the tooth back over here to the right-hand side, but no signal yet. We talked about this one in the newsletter yesterday. It was one of the ones that had earnings with some of the lightest volume that we've seen. If I were to pull the trigger on one, it would have been that. I just didn't feel that much about it, and I didn't like the options. They were fairly expensive. If it would have looked like it was going to $33, I kind of thought it would be, but just didn't think that was enough risk reward going into earnings. But this one, August 4th, $46.09, 2.1 million shares. A few days ago on October 9th, a little under 1 million shares. So you did test the previous high, lighter volume, closed back below it. And of course, you had earnings that were not so well received today. And that's been pretty much it. Lazy Boy, another one up here, kind of testing the tops, doing a little turtling, poking its nose above the previous highs. If we go back all the way to January 26th, this thing's been bouncing around that mid 28 level. And you had some okay volume, but just not that much, right back into the trading range. We come back, we got a handful of stocks to listen to or talk about. And then, of course, we're going to have Steve Rhodes back for yet another hour of fun and excitement. I'll be back at 4 o'clock hour. We'll be talking about how those earnings came in. And then, of course, at 5:30, I'll be doing my webinar for options. So hang on. We got plenty of things happening for you all over TFNN.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. And kind of drifting down to the low end. 1991 on the S&P cash, off 12 points on the S&P cash. 2.5 billion shares. Again, volume pretty tepid for kind of a late Wednesday afternoon in expiration, but we'll see. Of course, we're going to have a lot of earnings after the bell tonight. I'll be back in that 4 o'clock hour. In the next hour, we've got Steve Rhodes sitting in for the one and only Tom. So we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about here before the end of the day. And, of course, your opportunity is getting very narrow window left to sign up for my newsletter for free for 30 days. And you can take a look and participate in my webinar at 5:30 tonight about trading options. We'll be looking at that and other things too. Wanted to look at a few more of these stocks before the end of the day. Mankind, talk about super low volume. You had a big day on May 12th with 19 million shares, but a lot of these stocks are doing this, which is just drifting down lighter on lighter volume. Most of these have been in the 3 to 5 million range the last week out here, but maybe a little doji out here today, maybe just a little bit. But boy, I tell you what, not a good signal out here to be had in that one. Now, some of the other ones out here that look interesting to me, maybe to the short side, would be this Natural Health Corporation. NHTC. Gap down on some decent volume on the 8th of, July. 1.1 million shares. Got back into it with 500,000 shares yesterday. A little doji back out here today. Not a lot of energy back up on this high. Certainly looks to me like this thing could have a range of $40 back down to $20, and that would be it. So we'll take a look at that. Of course, Pan W, Palo Alto. I think you could make a case that maybe this is trying to make some kind of trading range out here, and certainly off the highs. It basically did about an 80% retracement back up of the previous move to the September 21st high at 189.72. It's been coming back down. This has been the darling of Wall Street, especially in the tech sector for a while. It did gap up on significant volume on the 10th of September. That was 4.8, almost 4.9 million shares. We've been coming back into it last few days, 1.5 million shares, 1.3 million shares today, just 890,000 shares so far. This thing pretty much went and filled that gap today, a little bit higher out here. Might be wanting to watch this in the next couple of days if we it looks like we have any sign of strength in these markets at all. And what else do we have here left? We talked about TJX, WD, Dunlop and Walker and Dunlop. Someone gets to say that. I think we talked about this a couple of days ago. There's another one that just testing its highs on light volume. July 21st, 480,000 shares. Got into it a few days ago with 330,000 shares, just back into the trading range. But a lot of these stocks in fairly decent trading ranges. This one from almost 29 back down to 22. So I just think we have kind of a nice trading range going on here in a lot of these. But again, expiration this week. We're kind of at the lows of the day out here, but not really pounding with a lot of force down. I think we're down, about 3 points since we started the show, or 4. Just not a lot happening out here. Kind of a quiet day. Most likely, we're going to see a lot more action at the end of the day. We'll have Steve Rhodes to call that. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. And see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.